How you guys doing? It's Be Wise from Lifestyle Evolutions. Now, the name of this video is Discipline is the New Wealth. And if you really think about it, in the culture we live in today, everyone's chasing the dollar. Everyone wants the hottest stock tip. Everybody wants which crypto is going to go to $1 million first. And this is the society we live in. And sometimes we chase that money by any means necessary. And when we do that, we take shortcuts. We look for hacks. We look for things that will get us there quicker. But usually those shortcuts don't really work. What always works is doing something over and over and over again. Now, discipline is the new wealth. And I use this for myself a lot because when you think about wealth, what is wealth really to us? Wealth, in its simplest form, is having a healthy body, having both eyes, having ears, having the ability to communicate, having the ability to talk, having the ability to listen, and the ability to understand and comprehend. These are the true signs of wealth. And so the paper money has tricked us, so to speak, because we sacrifice what's really the true wealth. We sacrifice our health by doing certain things, by eating certain things, knowing that down the road there will be a cost for eating these bad things, not taking care of our body properly. I'm guilty of this also. But I realized that discipline is the new wealth, not the money, not arriving at a certain dollar amount. What's really going to give you wealth in life is to be able to think, to be able to use your mind till its maximum potential. You see, your one good sign of intelligence is how you live your life. How you live your life is a sign of how you think, how you view the world, how you see the world, how you obtain your money. If you obtain your money through labor, that means you haven't reached the point where you have learned how to utilize your mind to earn you money. And I've been on that road. I've worked for years and years and years until I realized that there's always a better way to do something. There's always a more efficient way to live life, a more efficient way to make your income. And it won't be easy, but it won't be easy and it won't be quick. The fallacy of the young man is to think he can get everything quickly. Now, we live in an era where it's fashionable to be rich quick, to be rich in your 20s and 30s. Now, that's admirable. I'm not against that. But see, getting rich young, there's still so many lessons that you might partake. That you might take for granted. Because you feel like, well, I have this money, and so I can talk to people a certain way, or I could do certain things because I have the money. Kind of gives you a false sense of power. It makes you look at the world in a different manner, and eventually, the reality, will show you the real deal. The reality will always show you the real deal. Reality trumps everything. And so even though you think you big and bad, reality will show you who's the truth, who's the master. And so back to this discipline, though. So what is discipline? Discipline is doing something you might not feel like doing to get a result that's going to be down the road. And you can look at your money, you can look at your health, you can look at all these things. The world is giving you constant feedback. Constant feedback. Your bank account is giving you a feedback to what you do. Your body is giving you a feedback to what you eat. Your relationships is giving you feedback to how you communicate. Are you arguing a lot? Are you disagreeing a lot? Then that means the feedback is you can't communicate efficiently with your mate. So all these things must be worked upon. All these things require discipline to get to a certain level. And we're building, I like the analogy, the flywheel effect, because the flywheel is a gear and you're the gear. And aspects of your life turn the gear. So you're trying to get this flywheel to go faster and faster and faster. And how does it get faster? Well, you have to build momentum. You have to add into it. You have to keep pushing it. And then the one thing about the flywheel is it's concentrated effort. It's a concentrated effort in one way of doing things. For instance, let's say I'm not going to argue with my mate or my person, my partner. I'm not going to argue with my partner. Then you say one day I'm not going to argue with my partner. The next day, even though she's wrong, you're going to say, okay, you're right. And so what you're doing is you're building up momentum. Not that you're always have to agree, but you have to find a way to not argue. You have to find a way to get the benefit out the relationship. And this is the key. She helps you, you help her, so the relationship grows. And this flywheel will start to grow in this aspect. It will start to move a little faster. The arguments, you guys won't argue as much. You start having more fun. You start doing more things. And life will be great. You ever see those couples that just argue, and then eventually they break up? And eventually, because they never overcame that part of the relationship. They never mastered that part of the relationship. And see, every aspect of life must be mastered. Money must be mastered. Your health must be mastered. Because there's people tricking us every day with this bad, poisonous food. With things that make them money, but they cost us dearly in the end. They cost us days of our life. And it doesn't seem like that. It seems like it's seamless. It seems like it's just, oh, it's no big deal. I smoke these cigarettes. It's no big deal. And see, that's the point. You're going to smoke them cigarettes for so long. You're going to ignore things for so long. Then one day, you will lose control. If you don't put the discipline in at some point, you will lose control. Because it's inevitable. And they say, well, my grandfather smoked till he was 93. But you're not your grandfather. Everybody doesn't fit into the same box. Everybody doesn't fit into the same category. And you must realize this. You must realize that in certain aspects of life you're being played. Certain aspects of life you're being scammed. And only the reason this is happening is because you're not paying attention. You're not aware. You're not aware of what you're putting inside your body. You're not aware of what you're putting inside your mind. And hopefully, this will be something that you consider. something that you consider that discipline is the new wealth. It's not going to be a whole bunch of money. It's going to be discipline to get the most out this experience, to live a long life with minimum health problems, with minimum problems. Another part of life is if you can solve problems, if you get good at solving problems, then that's great. Because that's a sign of intelligence that these problems don't come back up because you have solved them. You don't fall into the same hole again and again and again. If you keep falling in the same hole again and again and again, that means you haven't learned that lesson. That means you haven't mastered that aspect of your life. Anyway, that is something to consider, and hopefully it made sense, and hopefully you got value from that. Thank you.